RNG is very much in sync, disengage, long-range poke, and then obviously cause the trundle split pushing.
So, gentlemen, you've had a chance to look at the team compositions. You know some of the strengths and weaknesses. Briefly, who do you think will win this matchup to face ESC ever in the winner's bracket decider match? Deficio.
I give it to RNG. I think they have a comp they like to play here. I think Xiaohu can pressure mid with the Corki as well, and I need to see Power Weaver outplay him for Origin to win this game.
Yeah, I agree. I think Royal's in a comfort zone here. I really like the Trundle pickup because I think it gives you a split pushing and a group sieging option compared to Fiora, so I think it is the superior pick here, and I like what they're going to be able to do with it.
So, analysts are predicting RNG to walk away with this one. We'll find out if they can pick up that win as we head over to the caster desk to take us into game.
Thank you very much, Trevor. So, hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be an interesting game. What is your prediction on this one? I'll throw that in there since you're not on the desk.
It's rough. Like, I can see how Origin would win the game, but I think it's more likely that RNG will end up taking it.
Well, let's get that game on your screens. We are underway here, ladies and gentlemen.
Hang on. How about you?
What, me? I don't make predictions. I'm bad. I made one prediction, TSM, and you saw how that turned out. I mean, technically I should have been right. I forgot they were really bad, though. Right. That was the problem. But here we go. Origin up against RNG. Royal never give up.
Fantastic.
Royal Club, Royal, whatever you want to call them.
Never give
Been around for a long time in many forms, as have Origin in many forms. A lot of experience on the team. The question is, can they deliver against the Chinese? It is going to be a tough match for them, no doubt about it. They have a tough draw. RNG, arguably, probably the favorites for this group.
Yeah, RNG coming into the tournament looked a lot stronger recently. So if you don't watch much LPL, what basically happened was in Group A, obviously the Chicago Reapers were the favorites, and they had a slightly better record than RNG, and then they faced off against each other. And then somehow RNG kind of convincingly won that game, more so due to good bans, I feel. And they repeated it right here. They had really good bans against Origin. Targeted Kalista, Alistar away from Mythi, Lulu, which is the cornerstone of any of these Protect the Sven compositions. And you see that that's something Origin have been playing, because they still have a Sven-oriented Kog'Maw composition that they were initially building up, but then they kind of shifted away from it with some power picks, just to keep the early game kind of stable.
Well, we do see a bit of an invade coming on. It is going to be Mata, and I'm going to say it's Whoosh. We're going to get it right. We're going to butcher the names in here, but they're going to go straight on towards Amazing. He managed to catch a stun over towards him. He's going to stack himself up. He is going to get caught out. There's the stun. Can Whoosh follow anything through here? Just going to back away, but that's going to force them weight out. That's going to cause a serious problem for Soaz and Amazing.
Yeah, yes, I know, because they can continue to double jungle right here, but Whoosh still hasn't gotten any experience on the lane. And when we talk about lane swap, something we don't talk about very often is tempo, and you just got to get to that tower as soon as you can with your top laner there, get everything in position for that 3-man push, and maybe RNG will be a little bit too slow. We'll need to see how it plays out, because Origin, when they get a lead here, since European teams are so good at this lane swap, could actually put them in a comfortable position in this game.
Well, we do see the red buff going across, as always. The old double jungle, it's been going for many a year now.
It's a different form every time.
It's a different form. The question is, we were talking about it, obviously, when we were on the desk at the start of the show, how will RNG rotate? We can see already Origin setting up for the stack down the bottom tower to keep on the push here. Will RNG match it?
Annoying timing there, because they're losing a lot of creeps to that tower. So you kind of want that wave right before the tower, or in front of it, then you can push it in. Whenever the tower's hitting creeps, you kind of want to be hitting the tower yourself. So Origin looking to pretty much finish that tower off with this massive wave they stacked up. And obviously RNG is a little bit behind, but they have more minions.
No teleports from Looper this time around. If anyone watched the QG game against RNG the other day, it was a interesting teleport. He would have actually just teleported into this exact setup right here.
He would have teleported in and died, and somehow RNG would have still won that game. I don't even know how.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good player. You just got to wonder what's going through the mind when you go into a situation like that. Guys, I got to teleport. Maybe he's just like looking in the shop. I don't know. Maybe having to look around, but it was an interesting play. But here you go. You can see the first towers are going to crumble.
Yep.
It will be OG picking up the first one. RNGs will follow any second now.
Yeah, the wave gets bounced. Look what Mythi did. Moves in, plays that little ward there in the lane. We're looking at MLXG to kind of do the same thing right here. Yeah, so both teams so far with a good execution of the lane swap. Now it's phase 2. See what happens here. Origin sending in their bottom lane into the long lane, because obviously if you send your top laner in, that's what they did, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago in the European LCS. They sent Soaz in there. He was left to dry. Suddenly he was super far behind, and the game starts falling apart. So Origin not opting to do that again.
Yeah, the one little tiniest advantage was MLXG split off while they were pushing at top when they got a little bit of extra farm. So you can see he's just slightly ahead of Amazing, but overall, not a great deal of difference in the grand scheme of things. And you can see, obviously, the gold difference. Mid laners, I wonder how this one's going to work out. Power of Evil up against Xiaohu. Power of Evil, he is on LeBlanc. There's a good chance to do some serious damage early on in Xiaohu here, but he can trade pretty well if he needs.
Yeah, ultimate skill matchup here. Corki, really strong early trader. Power of Evil going completely even right here. Because both teams know that jungler is so unlikely to gank the lane. So it becomes just a 1v1, and it's very rare to see any kills go down here.
As we say that, Power of Evil has a little poke on him. Should be able to farm out on the tower there. Top lane now obviously being pressured. It's going to continue to be pushed in. It is just Mithy and Sven though. Meanwhile, you can look down the bottom lane. You can see RNG are stacking out 3 members down there, so putting a lot more pressure on towards the bottom turret.
Yeah, so it's a little lost. You see that he's coming like through the mid lane and then pathing upwards. He could have straight went top lane to really save a couple of seconds there. So it does seem that RNG is more on a play. Adaptation here though from MLXG ganking the mid lane.
Well, Xiaohu maybe trying to be the bait in this one, but MLXG a little too late to the party there. Also notice Mata, how aggressive they went. Look at the ward coverage they've already got down that bottom half of the jungle. MLXG went and warded the top half as well, and well, Origin will get themselves the tower. It's going to be a continue to tower trade.
I like this play. So they read the play from RNG. They knew that the gank was likely coming because they didn't spot them bot, so they just set up for a counter gank, and POV just used that space beautifully to go for an aggressive trade on Xiaohu. He won that, and then instead of bouncing the wave top, look what Origin is doing right now. They're actually continuing to push into the second tower, and RNG in the bot lane are getting so afraid that they actually don't take that tier 1 down. So Origin with a big play advantage here, 1 tower up.
Massive advantage. Soaz could easily get down there in time. They won't be taking that tower down. Looper not putting any pressure on it. They both backed away. And then it's given a big little. That doesn't make any sense.
A little big upper middle class advantage.
English is not my first skill. I've got no excuse, actually, to be fair. I've just got no excuse on this one. We are going to see the Rift Arrow going down. There is not going to be any Dignitas-esque escapades going on here. It should be taken down by Amazing with ease, yes.
Yeah, no suicide by Herald. Both AD carries kind of like this too, because they're scaling up. Ezreal, Kog'Maw both like to go to the late game. Sven even picking up a Cull, one of those items that just gives you more gold efficiency, but doesn't really give you much stats early. It gives you like some base stats, but it slows down your build for really greedy gold income. And it kind of works on Kog'Maw, especially in lane swaps.
I mean, that's the thing, that the whole setup works so well for Kog'Maw as well. Kog'Maw obviously is ordinarily a champion. He basically has to stand still in a team fight, but he's got that brick wall. He's got that defensive cover in Soaz and Mithy, so they should be able to give him enough cover. Although with Xiaohu and Whoosh, I should say. Yeah. I nearly said Vux, which is the German way of obviously saying it, because the W becomes the V. It's a very strange for the Old English
language. All those years in Germany,
yeah, it's
corrupting you.
Well, you'd think I'd speak German a little bit better right now, but I don't. It's all good. We're getting there. But anyway, back to the game. It is Origin with a slight little lead. Now is obviously all gained by that top turret going down. What are RNG going to do to try and capitalize and try and push some pressure of their own? You can see the top team, top lane is getting pressured in. Whoosh putting some pressure down. Mata just going to go back and get himself some wards to keep the coverage going for RNG.
Super comfortable position though for ORG here. Like massive wave built up with the Herald buff that they picked up earlier, and RNG, it looks like they're not even playing the game. Like they're just watching. They're watching Origin play right now. It's like, oh, that's nice. You got a massive wave tower here. Maybe take that down too. And there's no cross map. Mata just picked up his sidestone, so there's no vision. Xiaohu is losing the mid lane 1v1 here to Power of Evil in terms of pressure. And Soaz, look at that wave. He's just going to soak up all that experience because there's no pressure on him dive-wise, because RNG is constantly going for the defense, but about 20-30 seconds too late. So they're not reading the map at all. So honestly, Origin so far impressing more than what we were expecting.
Yeah, they've seemed to have turned up. And I mean, to be fair, this week is a very good week for them to maybe try and pick up what is exactly been going wrong. What's been going wrong in the LCS for them. Maybe try and adjust them. They did so well in San Jose. It looked so promising. You just assume that Origin were going to, pick up where Fnatic left off.
Yeah, definitely. But every time you think, okay, China, they're going to catch up with these lane swaps. Eventually they'll learn like what the pacing is, what the priorities are. No, you don't need to gank mid. Your priority is to get the damn tower down. And somehow they just find a new way of just refusing to play the EU meta game though. Right now though, they come in with a teleport in the top lane.
So as in a little bit of trouble here, he's going to get picked on. There's 3v1. This should be an easy one for him.
Seen that before.
Lupa using the ulti a little bit early. There's the stun coming in. He's going to try and use the flash. Not sure the flash was really worth there. Sven does come in, but it is going to be a simple first blood for Lupa.
Yeah, it was
one of those things, reactions, I guess. He's just like, I can get out of it, I can get out of it. I can do this great play with the flash hook, the dreadline, try and
he was
hook out of there.
Buying time, and then he wanted to flash out, get the heal from Sven, but it just wasn't enough. One last trailing auto attack finished him off, and that is sadly a play that we have seen from Origin before. Xiaohu going for the predictor on the distortion, where Soaz just overextends, and I mean, Origin was 2,000 gold up. At that point, you can give up a wave.
Swing and a miss.
You can sacrifice a wave in the top lane if you're Soaz. You don't have to overextend. You have a 2,000 gold lead as a team. But that's where the communication falters. And that's some of RNG's strengths, using these teleports across the map, forcing a creative play here with Mata, the Korean commander,
Well, that little bit of pressure, in turn, put a bit of pressure onto Mithy and Sven there. You saw Xiaohu and Wux and Mata, heading the way upriver, and immediately caused them to have a bit of a pause for thought. That's given Lupa all the time in the world to just soak up that top lane experience. We do see Sven and Mithy having to react to Xiaohu, putting pressure on this mid lane.
Yep, and they're going to stay here for a while. They're the third Siege Commando squad. Obviously, Kog'Maw wants to support near him, and as a support in the mid game, you never want to be on a side lane. So the solution to that is just put your AD carry mid. LeBlanc's an assassin; she can split push in a side lane. Soaz is a big meaty tank that I know you love very much. So
I'm so excited, honestly, to see Nautilus versus Trundle in this top lane. I was delighted in picks and bans.
Luckily for you, they will actually never fight each other.
No, yeah, that's great. I mean, you are from CLG EU formerly, so you know what it's all about, not fighting you people. But Mata is going to get aggressed upon, and he's in trouble. He has to back out. Vux tries to turn this one back around. I said it. I knew I would. Amazing. Forced to back away. And RNG, we talked about that team fight capability. Do bully Origin away from that.
Yeah, Mata showing just the strength of Braum there, staying alive until what would have killed Mithy if that damage was done on a Thresh. And then you see the value from that Gragas pick coming in. Sven has to be careful for that later in the fights. Any E-flash into ultimate could just instantly spell his demise. And even though RNG is a little bit behind, the amount of damage you can soak up with that Braum shield is something that Origin can't neglect.
Just a little misclick of the cancelling the animation a little too soon by MLXG there, but that ping ward will go down. So 11 minutes gone. How do we see this one? Origin obviously built up that early lead, but they've already proven that, just like TSM, their shot calling's not the greatest in the world right now. If you're to look across the LCS, obviously you yourself have been there for a while now, watching these guys play. What are they going to do now? We're starting to approach the mid game.
I mean, this is the phase of the game where, sadly for bloodthirsty spectators, you don't want to see any fights. For Origin, you just want to get deep vision, rotate the map, and force situations like these where Lupa is overextended. Surprise RNG at a tower, because they've been surprised at 2 towers already where they've lost one, getting that lead from 3 towers to 1 right now for Origin. And they're looking to surprise at the top lane, forcing Ezreal even to cross map for wave clear. So us just going to head down to the bottom, see if we can keep the tier 1 alive. And Origin just want to get deep vision, move around the map, and preferably not fight RNG unless they have a massive numbers advantage.
Well, it's all about not fighting right now. That's delightful for us play-by-play casters.
Comforting, right?
Rift Herald going to get picked up once again. Second time round for Hohihen. If we can get the name in there. I mean, I've already said Wux. I knew I would.
Can butcher them all. Soaz this time on an island again.
Oh, he might be able to get away. He has got anything else to get out of here. There's the dread line. That's not going to be enough. Tries to hook out, but Xiaohu caught him out there. Amazing in turn. Going to go for MLXG. And with a straight up solo. Power of Evil. Oh, and misses. Could have gone a bit more aggressive. I don't think he was quite expecting Amazing to go aggressive on him there. That could have turned into a bit of a tower push as well. But look at Mata, Xiaohu coming from behind, forcing them to back away from tower once again.
UAE.
This is not over yet. Power of Evil going to force him to distort away. Sven finally going to deal with this tier 2 turret in the top there. Lupa going to go aggressive. He did have MLXG coming in support, but Origin back away, and it's now 4-2 in towers.
Yep. Big
advantage.
Origin divide the map in half, 4 in the top side, 1 in the bottom side. Sadly for Origin, their bottom side member kind of overextends a little bit, overplays the hand, so as gets caught again. And he's finding issues this season, knowing his limits, when not to play aggressively, knowing when the team could be there to come and kill him. Yes, he's left alone. Yes, he has no backup, but at one point he has to learn that he can't really overextend there.
And the problem is the wards have only just timed out. There was one in river down the bottom. You can see the pink wards there as well. So he had coverage. He had vision.
I mean, they had vision in the enemy red jungle, and if you don't see him there, then they're guaranteed to come bomb. Like these guys are not dumb. They will find you somewhere on the map, and if it's not top side, it'll be bot side. But right now, ORIGEN, again, Rift Herald picked up, group in the mid lane. RNG maybe will try to force a fight here again to keep them away from it. But ORIGEN is just fine playing this split push game. Pressure with LeBlanc in the side lane until somebody leaves the lane, and then they take down a middle lane tower.
Power of Evil taking down the tri-bush ward. But is he going to try and get a sneaky steal? No, not going to risk it. There is a lot of pressure on that mid lane turret. They've backed away from this one. And you can see every time Sven just creeps forward, gets himself the shot. This time they will be able to siege it down. You can see the pressure from the mid laner, keeping them out. MLXG is going to try and come around the side there. There's the ulti. It didn't do a lot to disturb them. Soaz is going to try and hook on towards him. He's going to be the sacrificial lamb once again, and RNG claps so beautifully there.
Yeah, but you could see the play being set up by Royal Never Give Up here. They knew this push was coming, so you see Looper backing off from the top lane, basing, obviously, with the teleport coming in on that ward in the flank. And when everybody from RNG gathers in the mid lane, that's when ORIGEN need to realize, hey guys, let's spread out again, thin out the masses, and then push mid again. But they failed to make that recognition, and they get caught out. Now MLXG is going to invade, drop some vision here, and suddenly ORIGEN lose all that momentum.
Yeah, amazing realizing this is not a fight he's going to be able to win. And they are going to transfer onto Dragon. This is going to be Dragon giving them some for free, basically off the back of their pressure in that mid lane. That'll be their first of the game.
That's something RNG do very well, though. The decisive, like, pull the trigger type of moments. Guys, we need a team fight right here. This is a situation with Mata calling the shots. Especially if you watched game, like week 1 and 2, he was so vocal. Like, this play is set up like 30 seconds ago. They knew this was the reaction here, and only one guy can get that lantern out. Two guys watching the lantern. Who's going to sacrifice? Okay, Soaz gets left behind yet again by his team. 0-3 right now.
It's becoming a common theme, sadly.
Yep.
1-8-1 just last week. 8-0-9 the day before. I mean, it's so different. But then again, it was against a weaker team and then a harder team. They've not done very well against good teams this season at all.
Most of their wins is from bottom, like the bottom 4 teams, and there very few wins have against the top 6.
Meanwhile, RNG just beating off the competition really over in China. That double win over Chaogu was definitely one that put them in the driving seat coming into this tournament, really. I would say they're probably second, just after SKT, to second favorites to get to the final.
Yeah, many people consider them the second favorite. Other people said maybe CLG stylistically, or, you know, a little bit better macro. We'll need to see how that plays out.
CLG's week this weekend, obviously, that big win over Immortals. And more importantly, can people just handle the good old split push Darshan that tends to happen, the backdoor style that comes in every now and again.
Yeah, Looper might actually take a page out of Darshan's book, because obviously Trundle will eventually outsplit push Nautilus. And with the way this game played out, Soaz initially was 20 CS up on Looper, but completely evaporated because ORIGEN don't play around Soaz. Yes, he's on a tank, but he's 0-3 right now. He's stuck against Looper, who is getting kills, CS attributed towards him, and as long as the remaining 4-man part of RNG can survive this kind of siege, then later on, ORIGEN will have to deal with a very fed Trundle.
We're starting to see RNG dictate the pace here. Despite the fact they went down early, clearly ORIGEN, while they've got the 4 turret advantage, just don't seem to have control of the map right now. You can see that little line of wards they have in the top. That's good coverage. They wanted to get Soaz going along the top there, but RNG definitely causing problems for them. And ORIGEN having to react to it every time.
Yeah, 1 creep remains. They're desperately trying to get the tower. Creep goes down. Collapse in the mid lane again. You can see what RNG is doing. They path to the side, see if they can catch Soaz, and then they return for the all-in.
Try and get the swing. They could try and get it towards Sven. Turning the back. He's going to get caught out. MLXG takes him down. Mythy having to run away from this one, but Zhao, who smells blood, tries to get in. He will get himself another kill here. Mythy goes down. It's a 2-for-0. And ORIGEN just have no reply right now.
Absolutely massive engage here. Zero hesitation from RNG. They fake the collapse onto Soaz. Soaz pieces out of there. And then ORIGEN, they're hesitating. Do we push? Do we pull back? And suddenly Packers comes in. Special delivery. 2-man knockup from Mata going in on that. Fantastic play overall by RNG.
I would just say one little fall of getting that turret.
I mean, Looper flashing here to cut off Sven. And then this package, and then I think Mata's going to leap on top of him. Or it's actually the E-flash from MLXG that gets the knock-up here. That was a really, really well-coordinated play. Just not afraid of using that flash aggressively. Combo with the body slam.
Cut the team in half as well. It was a really nice use, just catching them down the river. 2 of them peeling off, catching them in all sorts of problems. They did back away a little too fast, though, and Origin did manage to sneak in and get that middle turret down. So a little sneaky play there, sneaky peeky, you would say, in another game that I might be commentating. 5-2 in terms of turrets, but Rift Herald for the first time going to RNG there just before Baron spawns.
Tower's almost dead anyways, though. RNG almost used it as a bait. It's like, you want this tower? Really? Come get it. Step closer. Oh.
Well, they did, but in terms of kills, you can see the kill percentage all going to Xiaohu, and that's going to become a problem. 3-0-1 ahead in CS just slightly, but in terms of gold, because he's got those 3 kills and assists, it has given him a pretty big advantage. Yeah, they are building pretty well for this.
You see, just is such an enjoyable player to watch when he is in synergy with MLXG. Xiaohu together, they have shut down EasyHoon in an absolutely disgusting manner one time with a Grazel Blanc combo. Now they play the Gragas Corki, and in that fight, that they just won the fight together, you know. The Looper slows down the fight with a pillar, and then the package combined with Body Slam Flash, just beautiful opening. And that's what OG need to kind of avoid later on, because they don't have the perfect peel for Sven. That's what Deficio was alluding to in Champ Select, is like, yeah, they build a protected Karma comp, but then they kind of move away from that with Skirmish and like split push cash components, just like Power of Evil's looking for a pick right here.
Oh, now he's in trouble. This is good go manner wrong. Here's a Looper teleport. Let's see how this one works out. It's just going to simply be to interrupt them. They try and go aggressive. The Bra multi-lands. Miffy caught out. The barrel just splitting them, but not really doing the damage. They wanted to launch somebody in towards the river. Couldn't quite catch them. So as got lucky there, actually bounced just off the Raptors, I want to say. I was about to say Wraiths.
Yeah.
Came going back a few years there.
That's your time, man.
I know, man.
My times.
Technically, it was your time.
I played back then.
Yeah. But not that you ever got to see the Wraiths.
No, Froggen took them all.
That was Froggen's, yeah. Very much so. Well, Mata just blocking out. Origin not being bullied away from this one yet. They didn't take too much damage in that skirmish, and they know there's a lot of ultis down for RNG as well.
Yeah, that's...
As well as the teleport, so they got that on timer now.
Yeah, TP's down, ulti's down, and that's when Sven can shine, because he's obviously... Everything then becomes predictable. You don't have to attach a flash to that body slam that's coming in, or a random flash trundle pillar. Those cooldowns are coming up, though, so Origin will need to keep track of them. Sven obviously hitting a bit of a power spike here, 2 items. Against his Rage Blade and the Hurricane finish. That's like the comfort zone for Kog'Maw. Later on, you can do different things with your build. But that just is a really big spike here in team fights. If he can stand still and stay alive. Because you actually don't have the APM to move in between auto attacks. You literally just have to right click and stand still as the AD carry.
See Mithy trying to create a play there. They've got this 4-man setup in the mid lane at the moment. Up against 4 members of RNG. Remember, no teleport for Looper while he split pushes down the bottom. So as is going to go down and react to that one. So he's going to soak up all that experience. But Origin, they're desperately trying to make a play. They desperately want to try and catch RNGs. Just a little stray, maybe. Maybe Mata will decide to try and ward out that river, but they're not falling for it. RNG sticking together.
Yeah.
They know there's nothing really that can disrupt them. Mata getting caught out, but he simply blocks that away. And now MLXG goes in, gets himself the barrel down. Power of Evil's the man they're going to try and separate.
He's too fat.
Catch on towards him. Which way are they going to split? Do they go for the right one? Yes, they do. Xiaohu has him on lockdown, and he should not get away with this one. Where's he going to go? They caught out Looper in the mid lane. Looper, this is going to be a trade 1-for-1. Looper will go down. They're still not taking down Power of Evil. He might have timed out. He may well have hit that 10-second cooldown. No, Xiaohu picks up the kill.
What a fight. MLXG using his big fat belly blocking that lantern there. Power's like, I can't click it, guys. Okay, I run. And then somehow Looper's watching all the action and gets hooked and then flashes afterwards. So Looper could have flashed out. Another cocoon into hook.
MLXG caught out. Mata dives in there, manages to get a good ulti, and now Myth is in trouble just off the side. Xiaohu gets exhausted, but that cools down. Now Sven's going to try and catch up towards him. Mata goes down. The ulti from Ezreal not going to really be enough. Xiaohu gets caught out. Origin turning this fight on its head. Xiaohu's still alive right back there. Soaz finally gets the shutdown bonus, but now he's in trouble. Woosh should be able to finish off Soaz here. I'm not sure if he's got the damage. Soaz is going to try and turn it around. He's not sure whether he can finish it. He will finally get the kill. Oh,
yes,
maybe. But he's got the Iceborne gauntlets, and that will get the slow in now. But now Power of Evil could trade it back. Woosh is going to try and juke him. Power of Evil, what are you going to do? He's got no cooldowns. Oh, Woosh.
But it was not him. It was a fake Power of Evil all along.
Oh, Power of Evil gets away. Well, finally we get some action.
Yeah, a lot of action here and a fantastic communication really on that turn. Just watch this. So the pick-off here is really good from Origin. Sven obviously goes low on mana. Mata soaks up a lot of damage. It's important because he's buying time right now. Because what you need to watch out for now is the communication between Xiaohu and Woosh. Woosh says, okay, I'm going to hit the Carbon here for the turnaround, cleanse out of the cocoon, and they turn around that fight with an aggressive flash. Like, Xiaohu could have flashed out and tried to like make the defensive play, but RNG recognized that even in this 2v3, they can make the outplay. They can chase the kills here, and that is honestly incredibly impressive.
And it was Sven, actually, I think, that picked up the kill. They're not Soaz with the, trying to remember the passive on Kog'Maw.
Oh, the Cathian Surprise?
Cathian Surprise, that's the one there, see.
Suicide Kog'Maw.
Suicide Kog'Maw, yeah. Well, you saw Woosh very, very nearly got Power of Evil, but was duped nicely. But Blue Buff stolen away, Xiaohu managing to get in on that one. But now Gold even. 10-4 kills. Still turret advantage to Origin, which gives them that little advantage in vision, but poke back and forward as they group as a 5, but those big bombs are starting to really hurt now from Xiaohu. Package used to get away.
Yeah, but the damage is done mid lane prior on the side of RNG. They can set up their second dragon here. Obviously, they leave Baron exposed, but they have one blue trinket available on Woosh right now. So he'll need to walk over if RNG go for the bait. It was actually impressive at the 22-minute mark when Origin was setting up that bait. RNG just refused to collapse on top of it.
Well, as it is, sorry, we just got a food delivery. I was just like, what am I going to do with it here?
Yeah, it's like, you guys want food? It's like kind of hard.
Yeah, sure. Just hold on, guys. I need to chow down. Just get talking. But no, we will continue with this game because RNG starting to really turn the pressure onto Origin. Looper pushing that wave in, Soaz really wants to absorb it, but Looper has the better of him now, and look at this. You can see RNG starting to motivate themselves, starting to push into position. Soaz caught out a little bit. The rest of his team are coming. Looper trying to bait him into some sort of aggression, but RNG, look at this. They're reading it so well.
I mean, Origin make the one play they have to go for the Baron bait or the Force, but then on top of the Scuttle Crab, that's sloppy, because now Looper has so much liberty to do whatever he wants on the bottom lane. He can push in Soaz, even start pressuring that tower. Origin have lost the positional advantage. Their mid lane tower is right now exposed, so RNG completely comfortable in this position.
So 2 towers with that one little play, that one little bit of pressure, and this is what we were talking about right at the start. Looper's going to have that advantage over Soaz. It's going to slowly build up, and they may get themselves a tier 2 turret here. Origin realizing they can't compete. Sven just got himself exposed for 1 second and took a giant hit from Woosh and Xiaohu.
Yeah, flashes are up again. MLXG, keep track of hidden fights, because all the deciding fights have started with a good body slam flash from him. Just not afraid to use that ability aggressively, even in situations where I would even feel like, nah, there's no way he's going to attach the flash to it, because it's a little bit too far reaching, but he went for it. Made it work.
So 0-4-2 for Soaz. Tanky meta, what it is. I know it's they're champions that he never used to enjoy over the years. Obviously, having spent a lot of time with Soaz, he never used to enjoy the likes of Shen, etc., having to play in that top lane. He liked the playmaking champions. He did have a chance of playing Fiora in this one, but maybe having some flashbacks to last week, so probably didn't want to go there.
I mean, it's you can't go for both the Kog'Maw and the Fiora. It's incredibly risky, at least, to do it. Let's see. Somehow sidesteps that hook.
They might be able to get around the side of him here. Oh, Sven.
Ooh, if that pillar, if Sven clicks that any earlier and he gets blocked out of the lantern, that could be big, but another big engage.
He's going to go down here. There's nothing getting away from this one. Mata has him locked up. Looper's going to collect himself the kill, and now Amazing's going to have to flash away. They could follow through, and they will follow through. They're going to get Amazing down, and now Power of Evil. What are you going to do? He's got no mana. He can't really even compete in this, and that could well just gifted RNG the Baron.
Yeah, Origin just completely just standing by and watching the games, like, what's happening? They try and run away, and then RNG just defy expectations, say, okay, this is a distance you can cover, now we can cover more. Body slam flash, aggressive follow-up from Mata here. Mithy going for some disturbance. Xiaohu can easily 1v2 this zone, and that's going to be a Baron for, 2 kills on the top for RNG, and they're in complete control of this game.
Dominant play from the Chinese here against the Europeans, but this was the engage.
But this here again, Lantern is forced already, so Mata recognizes that, get the passive on, and immediate E-flash auto coming out from the Gragas, and then Zen gets stunned, and there's nowhere he can go. Even if he's low enough in that fight and he leaves the fight, the complete control of the map is for RNG. They have just absolutely zero hesitation because they know their composition is stronger in the 5v5.
And that was so well set up. Looper comes around the side, forces out the Lantern already, pulls him in, and Mata, reading the situation, says, yep, going to flank around the side, catch him out. Now Soaz in trouble once again. Uh-oh,
what's he doing there?
What are you doing here? Can they interrupt him? Yes, they can, because there's the ulti coming out of MLXG, and he will pick up the kill. And now they can push straight on towards that inhibitor. They have the Baron buff. They have all the hit points they need, and Origin needs to get in position here. They're going to have to defend it 4v5.
Yeah, keep your eye on Looper right now, because his pillars is what's going to be the zone threat on Sven, because obviously Body Slam Flash is down. Mithy can peel with hooks, but right now they're just...
Oh, Amazing was trying to back away in lane. Looper didn't let him, so this is now a 4v3 situation, pushing on towards this inhib turret.
Looper has teleport too. He could put a teleport on any of these creeps and make them invulnerable. The tower can drop, so RNG looking to do that finally.
There it is. They're going to catch out. Wow, Sven just absolutely annihilated there. Caught out completely by the bomb. And Whoosh managing to catch on. So first inhib goes down. Can they get more? They mean they should be able to. They've got that big long death timer on Sven. Soaz only just about to respawn. They may even just go straight for the Nexus turret. They could even just finish the game here. They will take themselves one Nexus turret. Is it too greedy to go for the lot? That's the question. Well, they're going to force on. Soaz in trouble once again. Gets caught out. Power of Evil gets dropped. Soaz goes down. And RNG dominate Origin in the end there. They had a great start to the game, Origin, but just did nothing with it. They couldn't finish through. And RNG's positioning won them out in the end.
Yeah, RNG, honestly, very impressive mid-game and closing finish. Like, zero hesitation. They knew what to do. Every single member of that team was on the same page. But we have to be, critiquing Origin here. We're 2,000 gold lead, incredibly early on in the game, mostly on the back of that lane swap. That play where Soaz overextended in I think in the top lane trying to farm, while his team was 2,000 gold ahead, and then in the bottom lane later